There are some transfers this summer that have taken us a little while to wrap our heads around because it was difficult to see how the players would fit the styles and philosophies of their new clubs. But there are some others that just made perfect sense from the get-go because stylistically and philosophically they are just perfect fits. Those are the sorts of transfers we want to talk about in this video today. These are 8 new summer transfers that just make sense. We'll start with Rodri. Seeing him wear a Barcelona shirt just makes a lot of sense. It is the type of signing that feels like it was always written in the stars. Barcelona has always been a club known for having the best midfielders in the world. Whether they developed them from their academy or signed them from elsewhere, it didn't matter. It just always happened. And even more so, most of the best Spanish midfielders ever have played for Barcelona at one point or another. Think Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Thiago Alcantara, Pedri, Gavi, Dani Olmo, Fermín Lopez. This is the history of Barcelona. So, signing Rodri just made sense. He already thinks like a Barcelona player with how he wants to always hold the ball, keep possession, and dominate the midfield. He is not a guy who just wants to win, he also cares about how you play on your way to that victory, which is what Barcelona is all about, so he'll fit right in. Also, the previous generation of the Spain national team often fielded an 11 comprising 3 Barcelona midfielders. With this signing, that trend can continue with a midfield of Rodri, Pedri, and Dani Olmo. Another new signing who's a perfect fit for his new club is Ferran Torres. Under Luis Enrique, PSG has picked up a pretty distinct identity and Ferran fits right into it. We'll talk more about that identity in a second, but if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, now is the perfect time to go do that, so you never miss out on our amazing content. Done? Okay, back to the video. You look at PSG now and there are some things that have become very clear since Enrique took over. All their attackers can play all across the front line, they all have a lot of energy and they like to press hard and high. Ferran Torres checks each of those boxes. When Flick needed high pressing, he always played him ahead of Lewandowski, and of course we have seen him play as a winger and as a striker, both for Spain and for Barcelona, so you can see him fitting perfectly into that PSG team even more than Gonzalo Ramos did. On top of that, PSG just loves signing from Barcelona. That too seems to have become a part of their identity in recent years. Messi, Neymar, Dembele, Xavi Simons, Dro Fernandez, Arno Tenas. Ferran Torres simply continues that trend, so yeah, this one just made sense. Next, let's talk about Youri Tielemans. He is the exact type of midfielder we're used to seeing at Manchester United, so this one makes a lot of sense. Through the years, United have always had at least one all-action midfielder in their team. A guy that can cover any midfield position at all. He can be a destroyer, a deep-lying playmaker, can go from box to box, can be an attacking midfielder, can be a metronome, can pass, can cross, can shoot, you name it. Think Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Paul Pogba, and even Bruno Fernandes right now. These are all players that can play whatever role you ask them to in the midfield, and that is exactly what Tielemans is. So this one just makes perfect sense. He'll definitely fit in like a glove at Old Trafford. It's the same way we think Morgan Rogers is a perfect fit for Chelsea. The only reason people doubted this particular move when it happened was because they already had Cole Palmer at Stamford Bridge, so it felt like there was no need for another 10. But when you look at the signing separately, you can see that Rogers is the exact type of midfielder Chelsea typically go for. The Blues love a good attacking midfielder, a guy who's a midfielder on paper, but operates like and almost always has the numbers of an attacker. I mean, this is the club that signed Frank Lampard, Deco, Joe Cole, Kevin De Bruyne, and Cole Palmer. They love this exact type of midfielder, and when you look at that history, the Morgan Rogers signing just makes sense. You know which other transfer just makes sense? That of Christian Romero. The one football club in Europe that Romero should always have played for is Atletico Madrid, and it makes a lot of sense that he has finally moved there now. A fierce, hard-tackling and aggressive player from South America, skilled in the dark arts? That is literally the Atletico Madrid special. Diego Godin, Juan Miranda, Jose Maria Jimenez, Diego Costa. This is what we're used to seeing from Los Colchoneros. And especially this century, Atleti has become something like a second home to Argentine internationals. Sergio Agüero, Rodrigo de Paul, Nahuel Molina, Maxi Rodriguez, Julian Alvarez, Juan Musso, Angel Correa, Nicolas Gonzalez, Giuliano Simeone, and of course Diego Simeone himself. So really, who is surprised that this club that has signed all these guys in the past went ahead to also sign Christian Romero? But even without all the long talk, You just look at how Romero plays and how Atletico Madrid play, and you surely don't need anyone to tell you that they're the perfect fit. A match made in football heaven. Next up, Randal Kolo Muani. His move to Juventus just makes perfect sense for some reason. First of all, we all know that Juventus is one team that really loves their Frenchmen. In fact, they have had some of the nation's outright greatest players play for them. Zidane, Henry, Platini, Lilian Thuram, Evra, Anelka, Pogba, Vieira, Deschamps, Trezeguet, you name them. So Juventus signing a France international will always make sense to us. But even more so, there is just something about Kolo Muani that screams Juventus, something we can't even really explain. He's just the most Juventus striker you can think of. Still on Juventus, they also signed Guglielmo Vicario this summer, and it actually makes a lot of sense too. To be absolutely fair, we would say that Gianluigi Donnarumma is the most Juventus goalkeeper of this generation. Italy #1, one of the greatest shot stoppers in the world, national team captain, and doesn't care about playing with his feet. This was literally who Buffon was. But since they could not have Donnarumma, Juventus decided to go for the next best thing, Guglielmo Vicario. Italy's #2, pure shot stopper, barely uses his feet and has a very strong and vocal personality. Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense that they signed him. Honestly, Vicario looks like he fits more perfectly into Juventus than Emi Martinez, who the club was initially interested in. In an ideal world, Martinez should be playing for Atletico Madrid. Let us now wrap up this video with Ibrahima Konate. Seeing him move to Real Madrid felt like watching two people who have been flirting with each other for a long time finally get married. Konate is the exact type of defender that Florentino Perez loves. He broke character for a bit, going out to sign Dean Huijsen last year, but he quickly returned to his ways with this particular signing this summer. Real Madrid is known for signing big, strong, fast and aggressive defenders. I mean, this is the club that employed Pepe, Sergio Ramos, and still employs Antonio Rudiger. On top of that, you know that Perez loves a star signing, and that's exactly what Konate is. To then top it all off, he is French. The way Atleti loves their Argentines is the same way Real love their French. Zidane, Mbappe, Benzema, Varane, Makelele, Tchouameni, Camavinga, Anelka, Diarra, and on and on and on. The extra spice on it? It was a free transfer. The only thing Perez loves more than signing a Galactico is signing a Galactico on a free transfer. He did it with Mbappe, did it with Rudiger, did it with Alaba, did it with Trent, so Konate and Bernardo Silva this summer were only continuing that trend. So as you can see, the Konate to Real Madrid transfer really just made all sorts of sense. He is such a perfect fit for his new club, that's for sure. Anyway, it is now time to hear from you guys. Are there more transfers that have happened this summer that you'll say just make sense? Tell us about them in the comments. Now, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye. Football fans, this is the deal you don't want to miss. Whether you're hunting for an iconic World Cup jersey or the colours of your favourite club, Goal90 Shop has the perfect pick for you. And right now, everything is a flat 15% off, with free shipping anywhere in the world. So don't wait. Hit the link in the description, head over to Goal90 Shop and grab your favourite jersey today.